Most men are afraid to be alone, that's why they're weak. Most men don't fear failure. They don't fear pain. They don't even fear death. What they truly fear is being alone. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They fear the silence. They fear the mirror. They fear sitting with their own thoughts. Because they know what's waiting for them there. The truth. And that's why most men stay weak. Not because they lack strength, but because they avoid the solitude required to develop it. Alone is where the war begins. When you strip away the noise, the distractions, the false affirmations, the empty pleasures, you're left with the one person you can't run from, yourself. And that's where most men panic. They fill every second with stimulation. Scrolling, swiping, watching, eating, consuming. Because if they stop, even for a moment, the mask starts to crack. And underneath? A man who's never faced himself. A man who's outsourced his identity to others. A man who needs approval, attention, affection, just to feel like he exists. But here's the paradox. The man who cannot be alone is a prisoner. And the man who masters being alone becomes unstoppable. Aloneness is not weakness, it's the forge of strength. Think of every great man throughout history. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Nietzsche, Bruce Lee, Malcolm X, David Goggins. Every powerful man, ancient or modern, has walked through the fire of solitude. Why? Because isolation reveals what comfort conceals. It forces clarity. It kills delusion. It breaks everything in you that is not real. No more pretending. No more blaming. No more hiding behind a relationship, a friend group, or society's approval. You're forced to confront your pain, your purpose, your demons, alone. And that's where transformation begins. Most men today are soft because they're never alone. They jump from one relationship to the next. Not because they love, but because they can't stand their own company. They can't sit in a quiet room for 10 minutes without reaching for their phone. Because silence exposes their shallowness. They avoid reflection. Avoid solitude. Avoid isolation. Because deep down they know. They've never built themselves. Everything they are was handed to them. Their beliefs. Their habits. Their values. All copied, borrowed, or downloaded from the world around them. No wonder they break under pressure. No wonder they fold when life gets quiet. No wonder they cling to people who don't respect them. Because at least being used feels better than being alone. But here's the truth. No man becomes powerful without solitude. If you want to find your edge, your truth, your mission, you will find it alone. In the quiet mornings. In the long nights. In the gym, the journal, the fast, the grind. That's where the inner voice gets louder. That's where direction is discovered. That's where character is carved. And yes, it will be brutal. You will question everything. You will lose people. You will feel insane. You will be misunderstood. But stay in it. Because the man who doesn't run from solitude becomes a weapon. He becomes grounded. Focused. Unshaken by rejection. Unmoved by flattery. Untouched by distraction. He's no longer desperate for attention, because he respects himself. He's no longer seeking approval, because he walks with purpose. He's no longer afraid to walk alone, because he knows where he's going. You want to be dangerous? Learn to be alone. Turn off the noise. Step away from the crowd. Cut off the crutches. No phone. No validation. No escape. Just you, your mind, your pain, your mission. And walk through it. Walk through the boredom. Walk through the self-doubt. Walk through the urges that try to pull you back into the shallow world. Because every time you don't run, you grow. Every time you sit with the discomfort, you break another chain. And slowly, painfully, you become a man that cannot be broken. Here's what most men will never understand. Being alone isn't punishment. It's preparation. For the real world. For leadership. for love, for legacy. If you can lead yourself when no one's watching, you'll never have to chase approval again. If you can be alone without being lonely, you'll never tolerate low standards again. And if you can walk in silence with strength and certainty, you'll attract everything you once begged for, without needing any of it. So embrace solitude, not as something to survive, but as something to master. It's in that sacred silence that a boy becomes a man, and a man becomes a force. Remember, the lion doesn't fear walking alone, because it knows what it is. So ask yourself, what kind of man are you becoming in the dark? Because if you can conquer solitude, you can conquer everything.